I recently saw a video with Samurai the guitarist, or Guitarist the Samurai, whichever one he prefers to be. And he showed me the worst pedal ever. When someone says that, I get curious because I don't believe them. And here it is. I bought it because I thought, if it's really that bad, I gotta see for myself. And he was completely right. This is the worst pedal ever. The reason why it's bad is not because it sounds bad. The reason why it's bad is because it's made out of plastic and it's very, very, very flimsy. You're supposed to go up and down like this. And as you probably can hear from that, you can't. It's a wah, but you can't use it as a wah. The jacks are in the wrong place. So this is your input for your guitar and this is your output going to something else. It should be the other way around to make it work better. Obviously, depends on where you want it, but still, I think that is wrong. And this mini jack means that you need an adapter, but it's also not center negative, which means you need a different power for it, which means you need to use it with a battery. Because if you want to use it with power, you'll have to open it up and switch wires around inside, because otherwise you'll have a headache. It actually sounds fairly okay. I wouldn't say that this is the best wah out there, but it sounds nice enough for us to make it into a pedal that is actually kind of fun to have and cool to have. So if you have this and you're disappointed and you want to make it into something cool, then this is the video for you. So let's go. All right, here's the pedal. First off, we have to unscrew these legs, because they are not only the legs of the pedal, they are also holding on this back plate. And this plate here is also the weight of the pedal. The pedal weighs almost nothing. I'm not going to weigh it, but yeah, it weighs almost nothing. And so, by having a metal back plate, they can make you think that it has at least something going on, but it really doesn't. And maybe this will be interesting for you if you don't know how a wah pedal works, because it's actually a little bit fun with like the mechanical little gear thing, or whatever you want to call it, inside. It's not super advanced or anything, but a little bit interesting maybe for some of you. There we go. The back plate is off and to the side. And here, whoops, there we have it. There and here, and back again. So there are a couple of things we need to do. And first off, we need to remove this battery clip, because we're not going to use it, and it's also in the way. You can keep it if you want to, but I don't really use batteries for pedals. I'm just going to remove it. So it's out of the way. Next thing we need to do is unscrew this screw here. Next up is on the front here. We need to loosen these. And then we need to loosen this one here as well. And we're going to remove this and replace it. But I'll talk about that a little bit more in a sec. Okay, so now those are out. And they're falling in there. And we have to just take these screws out as well. But you can see it's just a pot that is upside down, and or to the side, and then just going along this. You can see how it moves when I move the... See? It's kind of a nifty little mechanic. At least one thing that they did that was kind of good is that they made this be screwed in from the top here. So by just turning this around, so we are untightening it. Okay, 6 hours later, and I got it out. And I'll put this one back on this one for now, just so that I can keep track of it. But here you can see the mechanic. It's just a longer sleeved pot with a wheel and this little metal bracket. You could make this yourself if you want to have something like this for a pedal build. Really easy. You could either take this from something else or 3D print it. And this is just a piece of metal that you could bend and drill holes into. You need to unscrew this. I'm going to see if I can get in there and loosen this, because we need to remove this metal bracket. Whoops. I went flying. Let's see if we can get this off. As you can see, this is one of those long shaft pots, and I looked around, but I don't have a replacement for it. This is 100K. I don't have 100K, so we're gonna have to go with this but I'm gonna play around with it a little bit and we'll see if maybe it's actually better to switch to a 10K or something. All right, here we have this, and the next thing we need is a box. A little enclosure for our pedal, looks something like this. And we need to start putting things into it. I have an LED right here, actually. There it is, and it goes into this thing, like so. And it's supposed to go into this hole. I push this first in there, like so, and then you can push the LED through opposite side, clamp everything together. A little bit fiddly to get in there, but I countersunk this a little bit because it was a little bit too thick. But I hope it's in there now. Okay, so first of all, we need to add a jack for the DC, which is right here. We're switching it out for one of these, and we're making it work with all the pedals that we already have and with the power supply that we have, which means we're turning this into a center negative like everything else and going with a Boss power supply because that's sort of the standard nowadays and has been for like the last 40 years. You would think the manufacturers in China knew about this when they designed the other one, but I don't know, maybe no real thought went into that pedal. We need to add a extra jack, and I have one here. It needs a little bit of cleanup, but we'll do that later. This is a stereo jack, and you can tell because it has 3 legs instead of just 2. One is ground and one is right and one is left. I'm gonna put this one in here. I hope I'm gonna get these things to work together because it's a little bit hard, but I might actually I'm gonna drill out this hole to make it a little bit bigger, just so that this can sit a little bit more flush, just so it doesn't take up too much space. And first we're just gonna finger tight this down because obviously we might have to move things about a little bit with this one. Now I'm just gonna try to see if I can get this switch in here as well. This might not work. You can see it doesn't. I feel like I should have thought about this. Oh, the hell did I make this big of a mistake? Okay, so I made a mistake and I drilled that hole a little bit too close. So I took a file like this one and I just widened the hole towards this corner here to move the switch a little bit. So now I have a ring here. I can press this in here, and if I put it on the side a little bit like this, it will hopefully work for me anyway. And if I put a ring on this side like so, and then a washer, I can cover up the hole because this white thing here is a little bit bigger than the rest, and hopefully that will help me cover up my mistake and we will be good to go. It does mean that the switch sits at an angle, but hopefully no one will notice that when it's inside the pedal. You have that line there, that's going to be the give and tell of the whole thing, but I'm just gonna not worry about it, and you're just gonna have to keep this a secret between the two of us, or 250 or however many people decide to actually watch this video. It's a very stupid thing. I rushed my build a little bit and did that a bit too quickly, which I shouldn't have done. So now we have a bunch of wires hanging loose here, and we don't need these wires, so I'm just gonna take them off. Oh, let's heat this up and take them off. You don't have to take them off if you don't. I mean, technically this will work the way it is, but I want to clean this up a little bit and also add in the LED. So we're gonna do that. The next thing we need to do is we need to add in these jacks. So let's try to figure this out here. Actually, let's just put one jack in on each side and then cut the wires to size. So this jack goes here and this jack goes here, and I might have screwed myself over again. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm having a really bad day for some reason that I can't explain. I don't understand. I've done this 100 times and I'm still getting it wrong because I feel like this is not going to fit in here anyway. What am I doing? Anyway, you need to pull this wire through to the switch, and then we need to cut it down to size, and we need to do that proper because obviously we are low on space. I should have used a bigger box. I even have a bigger box that I could have used. So yeah, it's not very smart of me to do it this way. Should have thought this through a little bit. And we add the jack here, and we'll do the wiring that we've done before. We don't need that extra ground wire. Same thing here. We have this ground wire here as well. We don't need that one either. And we have this out, and and that is the in. Wait, was that ground wire there the in? That's kind of odd. But anyway, it doesn't matter. Okay, let's add this one in. And let's hope, but I don't think there is a point to it. We can get all of this to fit in here. And the reason why I don't think there is a point is because, as you can see, it's already filled up. Yeah, you can see this pot it's ridiculous. There we have it. So this is the out of the pedal. It goes there. Okay, let's first figure this out. We have 3 wires here, and we need to, this one is the ground. Let's mark it with a little bit of black paint, just so that we know that it's ground, like so. And then what we need to do is cut these wires, something like that. And then we need to take these 3 and strip them back. And try to keep mind of the ground. So we strip these wires back, like so. And we pre-tin them. Now we have to at least try, see how it goes, to pull these over here to this jack. And the ground wire, which is this one because we marked it, it gets connected to the ground leg of this jack, like so. That looks somewhat good. I'm gonna see if I can get it all under here without too much stress on the wires so that something breaks. As you can see, this is not ideal, but it's what we gotta do to get it into this tiny box. Yeah, so those 3 are connected over there. And now we need to take these 3 wires, not minus this one, and we need to strip these as well. Try to keep track of the ground one. And we're gonna pre-tin these wires just so they don't fray, and also so that they become easier to connect. Now comes the horrible moment where we have to try and see if we can attach them back to this. So this is the ground. We marked that. I would have preferred if everything had its own color, because then it would have been really easy to keep track of things. There we go. Now we just need to move these things around a little bit. We need to push this back in. This is why, for example, not screwing things in to its place is really good, because then you can just screw things down and tighten them once you've actually made everything fit, because sometimes that's harder than it looks. We have this thing flopping around, which is really annoying. I don't know why it's not attached, but I don't want to worry about that and figure that out right now. But I think maybe this, like so, actually will work. We have these 2 wires. We need to pull them through this rat nest, like so. And we have to figure out, this is the out, and we need to add a in. Do I have enough cable somewhere? Let's take this black one. I know it's wrong because, you know, it is. Actually, no. Let's cut this. Let's cut this in half. Just adding this to where it's labeled in when you do this yourself. And then we have our 2 lost wires that goes to the pedal. We have to do the DC too, of course. But I'm just going to strip these back. I could have definitely done a better work here. I feel like there's a bit too much rat nest in here. You'll have to forgive me. I think I've already said that. Okay, we have these 2 wires here. That's the in and that's the out. So this is the in. It goes over here. Now the question is, will this thing work for me or will it be annoying? I'm just going to have it loose in the pedal for now. Mostly because if I clamp it down somewhere, I have to make sure it's clamped down there. But here we have these 2 cables. I'm going to cut them off, give myself a little bit of wiggle room, something like that, with a little bit extra. And I'm going to strip them back. And we're going to pre-tin them. And now, just to be completely and 100% sure, because this was wired the wrong way around, I want to just look at the symbol here and see that, yeah, this is the negative and this is the positive. So I'm going to take this negative and I'm going to put it here together with the other negative wire, the one that is for the LED. And I'll do the same for the other one, the positive to the positive. That should be it, right? Yeah, I think so. Okay, I'm gonna take this enclosure here. I have the back plate here. Don't ask me why it's weirdly painted on the inside, because I have no idea. But I'm gonna take it, and I'm gonna take a bit of masking tape, and just to be 100% sure that things work the way I want them to, I'm gonna stick a bit of masking tape down like this. I hope I can just sort of, without too much force or anything, just sort of lay this in here and just take this top and just get it in there. And there we have it, the pedal now. And I guess some of you are gonna ask, is it worth doing all this work with this crappy pedal? And the answer is no. In no way. If you either have a wah already, or if you are deciding what wah to buy, go with something better. Definitely, this is not a good wah at all. But if you already have the pedal, I'm not suggesting that anyone buy it, but if you already have the pedal, putting it into a box like this and making it to a controller that you can turn around and, use to get that cocked wah sound, for example, it's better now than it was before, is what I'm trying to say. And you have an expression jack, which you can use to plug in an expression pedal if you want to. And I don't have an expression pedal. It's one of those things that I'm always thinking, I should probably get one of those, but then I forget about it. And I don't remember until I make another video where I need an expression pedal. So unfortunately, I can't show you that. I hope you'll try this out anyway. I'm gonna quickly jump into a little demo. There isn't that much to show. It's just a EQ sweep, basically. If you have this pedal, don't throw this enclosure away, because in my next video I'm going to show you how to use this to create an actually cool pedal. Something really awesome that I think every guitarist needs. Thanks so much for watching. I hope you found this interesting. You can basically do this to anything. I didn't really do that much to it except re-enhance it and therefore changed it into a different kind of effect. Until next time, don't forget to stay awesome and cool and go and build something awesome and cool, because you gotta do it, and that's what you have to do, because you are gonna make something cool. I don't know.